Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Saturday the 25th of March 2023. Thanks for joining me. I want to use the Art of Life Tarot for today's reading. And let me just show you some of these cards. So we've got all these famous paintings, and then we have a blurb underneath. So this is an interesting deck to use because it really kind of guides you in terms of the message and makes it very, very specific via these kind of proverbs and sayings. So if you're using the tarot to kind of get a yes or no answer, I think this kind of deck is really good to use for that. Let me see what the cards have to say about Saturday here and what energy you'll be working with. So let's have a look. Okay, so the first card is in here. We have the Knight of Swords. We have Don Quixote. Ooh, then we have the King of Wands. We've got Napoleon. And finally, the Eight of Swords. Columbus crossing the Atlantic. Okay, so this is a day of heroism, really. These two cards are flawed people who want to create and achieve great things. And then we have Christopher Columbus, who's kind of crossing the oceans. He's an explorer. He wants to see what's out there that's unfamiliar. And he's willing to kind of face the unknown. And that's the vibe I'm getting, that there's a real sense of courage, that you're looking at doing something for yourself. You're invested in your life purpose, and you're willing to go on these journeys and to face difficulties in order to achieve what it is you want. So on this day, it may be that you come across as a little harsh or a little selfish because you're very, very focused on what makes sense to you, what you find meaningful in life. And particularly what comes into view is you're at point A. And on this day, you'll start to see quite clearly what point B is and even point C. And you'll start to understand what steps are required to get from A to B or C or D or E. And it doesn't put you off. So this is the kind of day where you can really invest in yourself, where you can face difficulties, where you can make plans that ultimately serve you to have this rich, abundant, idealized kind of notion of your life. But you don't back off and you don't get afraid and you don't get discouraged. And it's really a mission you can devote yourself to on this day. So it's really interesting. The Knight of Swords, we have Don Quixote, and that's a hero in his own right. I haven't read Don Quixote, but I've heard that he's like this hero going through Spain or something like that. So here we've got to dare is to lose one's footing momentarily. Not to dare is to lose oneself. Wow. So it's about embracing the moment and rejecting security and investing in yourself over the physical world. So really, the Knight of Swords and this kind of quote, it says to me that you're not going to rationalize anything today. If it doesn't feel right, if it doesn't make sense to you, you're not going to do it. And ultimately, the thing at the top of your priority list is you. And it's so interesting in this deck that the knight is this completely depersonalized figure and in the color red. Because that's really the question. What is it that I want to do in this world so that I kind of appear from amongst all those actions? How do I define myself? What is my identity? Who am I? What kind of person do I want to be on this planet? How do I want to be remembered? What are the things I'm saying? It's so interesting because the Knight of Swords here is saying the real world doesn't matter. What matters is your personal journey of discovery and you kind of filling in the blanks here and drawing on some eyebrows and some eyes and a nose and a mouth and really starting to understand who you are. Next, we've got the King of Wands and Napoleon. To me, Napoleon has always been a really interesting figure, but it's not someone I really resonate with. If if I had to kind of assign characteristics to Napoleon, the thing that he's most famous for is the height factor, isn't it? He was like this short man who had great ambitions and who was a megalomaniac in his ambition and all these things. Isn't he also the guy who invented the high heel because he wanted to look at his calves? I think I heard that somewhere. So the thing I don't associate with Napoleon is self-doubt and self-hatred and questioning whether you're right or not. I don't associate any of those qualities with Napoleon. I associate this as someone who really knows what he wants to do. The ends justify the means. Someone who's ruthless, driven, ambitious, who's absolutely never going to compromise, and who's really making his mission in life influence other people, and he really doesn't care whether he has a positive impact on others or not. So this is a man who's completely focused on his mission in life. Usually the King of Wands isn't so power hungry. Usually it's a man who's focused on living his life purpose in the moment. He's creative. He understands that reinventing yourself and transforming yourself and letting certain things exit your life. He understands all of these things. He's in touch with the process. He doesn't get angry, and he's someone who lets go and is willing to rebirth certain things. So combined with the Knight of Swords, we've got someone who's very, very invested in his own mission and who doesn't have all the facts, all the correct info, but that doesn't stop him. He's going to keep going, iron out the wrinkles as he goes. The key thing is, this is my mission and I'm going to achieve it. So in your case, if you don't have all the action steps, or if you don't have a clear picture of what's involved in achieving your mission or manifesting your desires, the cards are saying don't let that stop you. The thing that you can jump on today is the motivation, the fire, the willingness to kind of go on this journey, and the facts will appear as you go. So here we've got Napoleon crossing the Alps. Self-confidence is the first requisite to great undertakings. Okay, so you believe in yourself. That's why you're willing to face difficulties and to go on this journey. Finally, we've got the Eight of Swords. Usually the Eight of Swords depicts a woman who's blindfolded, surrounded by swords, and the card is about social rejection and being bound and not clued in, feeling threatened, stuck, and having to kind of use your intuition to find a way through on your own. And it's this sense of being isolated and disempowered. Here we've got Columbus crossing the Atlantic. So it's very different here. It's about a journey, and it's about, first of all, I'm confident. My name is Christopher Columbus. I'm going to go sail across the oceans and find new land. Okay, let's do that. And the outcome is exactly as planned. Although, didn't Christopher Columbus set out to discover one thing and then he discovered another? Yeah, I think it was kind of accidental. Anyway, the man was willing to go on a journey and to take a risk. You can never cross the ocean unless you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. Right, and also to face scurvy. I think they had to keep limes on board to keep like all these illnesses at bay. Imagine, I'm just thinking out loud, but imagine like you don't have the maps, America has never been discovered. You get on this ship, you've got this crazy captain who's saying, oh yeah, we're going to find land. It's only like, 8 weeks away. And you set off, I can't imagine. And there's just ocean around you and you don't even know if there is going to be land. And you're just kind of floating around. You really do have to have a vision or some sort of faith in something bigger to be floating around the world. Okay, so I think I've made my point. Christopher Columbus, someone who has this spirit of exploration, and also I think a little bit of madness to say, yeah, we're going to find land, but if we don't, we're just going to just go on this eternal mission. So ultimately, it all combines here in you being incredibly courageous and confident in your own process. You're willing to learn. You may say the wrong thing. You're not going to judge yourself for that. Ultimately, it's the fire that drives you, and you're looking to the horizons and you're saying, what is the long-term goal here? So it's interesting because it doesn't have to do with any of these cards, but this whole process and the vibe, to me, it says self-forgiveness, giving yourself a clean slate, saying the past is what it is. I still have an ambition to live, to make my life whatever the universe wants it to be. It's a collaborative process, and today I am very invested in that process. I'm going to go in a new direction. I'm going to face new difficulties, and ultimately I accept the process of life and I invest in it, i.e. myself. Okay, so you're the hero of your own story here today. Number-wise, we've got the Knight of Swords is a chord card that counts as 1. Another chord card counts as 2. And 8 is 10. 10 in numerology reduces to 1, and 1 is the vibration of the pioneer, the boss, the magician, the person who initiates things, basically Napoleon, and that's what you have access to today. Great self-confidence and the strength to not only face difficulties, but to overcome them. I love it. Okay, so I hope you have a wonderful day. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on Book Your Reading to audio reading with me. And if you like this video, then give it a thumbs up, please. Hit subscribe and share the video online. Have a fabulous day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.